While we eat lunch, we're gonna do this Q&A. And I hope you enjoy. What's up, you guys? We are going to do a Q&A video today. I asked you guys on TikTok and on Instagram to send me in your juiciest questions that you have for me just about my life, my belief systems, all the things. I decided to do it like Lily style. Let's like spice it up a little bit. Let's bring some food into the mix. So we're gonna do a little mukbang. I will be eating while we're chatting. We'll see how it goes. I have some leftover pizza. And is it just me? Or do you guys love like day 2 pizza even more than like originally? Because you put it in the oven and you heat it up and like the crust gets even crispier. So good. And I also, for a little veg and freshness, I'm eating just this side salad, which is like kale, cranberries, pecans, some sweet dressing. It is very yummy. And to drink, so that we could be a little fancy, this, which is non-alcoholic, I just like to put it in a wine glass because it makes me feel good. It's just sparkling water and some like Mio squeezy type stuff. It's like raspberry lemonade. Before you come at me, like, why don't you drink regular juice? Why don't you drink soda? People always like to shame me for eating and drinking things that are like healthy, which we will get into in some of these questions, but I don't like soda, really. Like, it's too sweet for me. I like to be able to control how sweet things are because my taste buds just don't love all sweet things. So here we are. I found what works for me. Cheers to you if you are drinking like a Pepsi or something while you listen to this, right? We are all our own unique humans, individuals. All right, I'm just gonna jump back and forth between the TikTok questions and the Instagram questions, whichever ones seem to stand out to me. The Instagram ones I am going to keep anonymous because I did not let those people know that they would not be anonymous, but the TikTok questions, you will get to see their handles because I just posted them as a comment, so they knew that it was public. So first question, any serious future plans that you talk about with Curtis? Yes, I really want to do like a full podcast episode with Curtis sometime soon, just about how we structure our relationship, how we make decisions, how we talk about our future, because it's very unique, or it's been a unique experience for me. Like, I haven't been in a relationship like this before, where we think things through in the way that we do, where we take steps back and we allow ourselves to be where we are instead of rushing forward. In all of my past relationships, every single one of them, I was always like in this rush to the finish line, whatever that magical finish line was, right? Like, okay, we have to, like, when can we move in together? And then like, when's he gonna propose? When can we like get married and have kids? Because I thought that that was going to be when I made it, and like when I like locked in that relationship for life, and that was the goal. Now that I love myself more fully and I'm with a man who I know loves himself fully and appreciates and loves his own independence just as much as I love mine, yes, we talk about the future and what we want, and we talk about it without the tight grip of we have to make this happen right away. There's a lot of pressure to rush into things in relationships, especially, you know, I'm 30, he's 32. So yes, we do talk about it. Yes, we are on the same page, and we are in absolutely no rush to get to where we want to be. Okay. Next question. What's one of the worst things that you've been told regarding your eating habits? This is where I want to go in. Obviously, I open myself up to a lot of criticism and feedback by posting every single thing that I eat every single day on TikTok. The reason that I do this is to show that there is a wide variety of foods. Sometimes I eat things that look like this. Sometimes I eat things that look like this. Sometimes I eat a mix of both at the same time. Like, what a concept. Some of the things that I have heard that I would say are just unkind, hurtful, impolite would be any judgment about what I'm eating from your perspective, right? And I'm saying your as in like the person who's leaving the comment. So them saying that I'm eating too healthy, that I am eating too unhealthy, right? Labeling my foods because that is my job to allow myself to feel into what feels good to me right now. I've received a lot of comments like, wow, maybe you should eat a salad. Like, it's no wonder you gained all the weight back. Look at how you eat, right? Just from watching one day's video, because one day a video might look like what we have internalized as unhealthy, lots of bread and cheese all day long. And then another day might look a little quote unquote too healthy for a lot of like the body positivity world, where maybe I spent a day eating like a lot of like smoothies and vegetables and fresher foods, and then I get judgment for that as well. And yeah, I just think in general, like not judging people for their food choices is the ultimate goal, because we are all on our own journeys. We're all listening to our bodies, and there are so many different forms of pleasure when it comes to food, right? There is the feeling of pleasure that comes from eating something that makes your insides feel good and that makes you energized and feel fresh, right? Which is probably along the lines of what the salad is doing for me. While it also tastes really pleasurable and really yummy, it just feels good as it's going into my body, right? Now, this pizza, while I really enjoy it and it gives me so much pleasure, if I ate 6 slices of this, I would not really be eating it for pleasure anymore, right? These 2 slices is perfect. It fills me, it gives me that like yummy, greasy, like cheesy taste that I want, and there is that pleasurable feeling within that as well. And just letting myself eat the pizza, eat the salad for their unique forms of pleasure that they deliver me. And what we actually want to watch out for is going off too far in one direction, where we're moving past the point of pleasure. For myself in the past, I've like only eaten salads and quote unquote healthy foods. And I went past the form of pleasure where I was doing it just to make my body smaller, right? I was no longer focusing on like doing it just because it felt good in my body. It was avoiding all of like this type of pleasure. And then also I've had times where I've overate this kind of stuff and I was no longer doing it for pleasure. It was more of like a self-sabotage type of thing, because guess what? After you eat 8 slices of pizza, there's not really more pleasure to be had there, right? And it's just moving yourself into this world of like discomfort. So anyway, that was like a little tangent from the original question, but I think that the worst things that I've been told about my food and my eating habits are just any judgments at all that are coming from within you, rather than from listening and or just accepting and appreciating where I am in my individual journey, as I would hope that you would like that respect for yourself in return, because we're all in different places. We're all learning different lessons. We're all eating different things and doing different things at different moments for different reasons, and we can just leave it at that. How do you let body self-acceptance turn into improved intimacy with partners? This is a beautiful question. If you have discomfort in your body and you struggle with being intimate with partners or allowing yourself to fully be open with people, whether that is in a sexual way or just like an intimate way, like being open in conversation and sharing like your true thoughts, feelings. The only reason that you wouldn't be allowing yourself to do that is because you are not accepting yourself. I love how you phrase this question of how do you let body self-acceptance turn into and improve your intimate connections with other people, and just the answer is just by fully accepting yourself. Because once you accept your body, right, if you're focusing on that, like how can I accept my body? How can I love myself more? How can I be more appreciative of my body just the way it is right now? How can I see the deep beauty that is within me? When that is fully embraced and embodied and believed, then of course you're going to be comfortable sharing that version of you with someone else. You are automatically going to be more intimate with people. So it's not a matter of, okay, how do I take this body acceptance and then put it into this other separate category of intimacy with another human, because it's not another separate category. It affects each other just because it does. To you, I would say, if you feel like you've been on this path towards body acceptance and self-love, stay on it. Keep going with that. Allow yourself to deepen that connection as much as you can, and know that it's okay if it takes time, right? There may be steps and phases. Maybe as you learn to love your body a little bit more, you'll find yourself being able to be more sexually expressive with a partner. And then as you go even more deep with that and with that love, you'll be able to share your feelings in a more authentic and intimate way with someone else. So just continue to focus on that inner work, right? That deep inner work for yourself, and then let it translate into all the other areas of your life. If you guys are looking for some help with that, my program Worth Way More is a really great thing to start off with. And if this conversation is resonating with you, it's something that it will totally benefit you. So I'm gonna give you 50% off. Why not? I'll put a special link below so that you automatically get that like discount code applied. Just grab the program and do the inner work, and I promise that it will be so worth it. Next question, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? And ask Curtis if he's here too. So Curtis is not here, but I sent him a text, I got you. And his response was, it's a tie between hamburgers and pizza. I like agree. I think that if I were to only have one meal for the rest of my life, it wouldn't be something super fancy. Like the first thing that comes to my mind is like lobster mac and cheese or something. I feel like it would be really easy to get sick and tired of that. Pizza is such a good one. So are hamburgers, but I feel like I would have to go with like some sort of taco dish. Always been my favorite. I love Mexican food. Living in San Diego has been a dream for that, by the way. Tacos, chips and salsa, like can that all be included in my meal? Because then yes, that would be it. Next question is a little bit of a different subject, and I really like this one. It says, best advice for moving across the country to live alone and to find safety in living alone. January 2020, so a year and like a month ago, I moved from New Jersey to San Diego. I moved all by myself. I knew people here through Instagram. Some of them I had met in person like once or twice when we were at like coaching trainings and things like that together. But essentially I was moving to be by myself. I moved into an Airbnb because I didn't know where I was going to live. I honestly didn't even have the money to pay rent. So it was kind of just like, we're just freaking going with it. And that's how I live my life. Just like hands in the air, like leap, and the net will appear, and it always does for me. I moved into an Airbnb and then stayed with a friend for a little while and then got my apartment here, and it's been so wonderful and amazing. So my tips for moving across the country to live alone is recognize what like an exciting adventure this is about to be for you. The majority of people don't experience this, and that's okay too, right? It's not the experience that's meant for everyone, but the fact that you're doing it means that it's a part of your life journey, and like really feel into that. For me, I think back to myself when I was moving, and there was so much excitement, and there was almost also so much like sadness and a grieving of the life that I had in Jersey. And in order for me to get here, I kind of had to tell myself like, oh, well, I'll just stay, you know, for a year or so, and then I'll probably move back home so that I can be home when I have kids and, you know, all things like that. But now that I'm here, I just love it so much. So I would say let yourself go through the motion. Whether your experience at home is good or bad, you are leaving behind something that you're familiar with. So just let yourself feel the feelings that come with that, and then also really feel into the excitement of like, you're moving across the country to a new place because you wanted to, you've made it happen, like you've found the way to allow yourself to have what it is that you want, and that's like so incredible and so exciting. When it comes to like feeling safe while living alone, this is a big one, right? I live completely by myself in this apartment, and sometimes I honestly do get a little scared, like at night if I watch a scary show or like I hear a noise outside, I'm like, oh no. I would say just having all of like the right things in place. For me, that means like I have sliding glass doors, so making sure that they're locked at night, and getting like, if you have sliding glass doors as well, getting some sort of like long wooden stick that you can put in. You guys know what I mean? Like you put it so that if they try to open the door, like even if it wasn't locked for some reason, it won't open because the stick is in the way, right? So I like to have that kind of stuff in place. Just always make sure my doors are locked, close my shades at night, things like that. Getting to know your neighbors, things as simple as that. And also just, you know, being and practicing like grounding and safety techniques within myself, because I think a lot of safety comes from like inner safety and feeling safe with ourselves, and like we can protect ourselves. And I know that that's just part of it, right? Like there is this place, we can't only go so far into like meditation and inner work when it comes to feeling safe versus actually having physical safety, but making sure that you are in that place so that if you ever were in like some sort of like danger or something like that, you would be able to think clearly. Also, what really helps me is if I'm going somewhere and know that I'm not going to be coming back until it's dark out, I leave some lights on in my house so that I can walk into it lit up. It just makes me feel better so that I can, you know, go do a quick look around, check the bathroom behind the shower curtain and all sorts of things before I get ready for bed, and that just makes me feel better. Okay, so next question is, do Curtis and I talk about having kids? And I sort of answered this in the earlier question, but I'll just touch on it briefly again. Yes, we do. We both want to be parents one day. It'll happen when it happens. All right, I love this question. Are you happy? Yes, I feel happy right now. And I think that this is just an opportunity to talk on something that I find important when it comes to identifying with emotions. Because the thing about emotions and feelings is that they are meant to flow and they are meant to change. When we say, I am happy, there's this expectation that that's now our identity and we are meant to be happy all of the time. And when something goes wrong, we don't know who we are. We think that something is wrong, right, with us. When actually it's just like an outside experience that's happening that we are allowed to feel sad or angry or annoyed about. And when we identify with happy as I am a happy person, then when we feel something that's not happiness, it throws us all off. So in the moment, yes, I am very happy. I also, go through moments where I feel sad and anxious and frustrated and annoyed and lost and confused. And all of that is just as okay and just as acceptable. And the reason that I'm able to accept those emotions and move through them in a healthy way is because I don't identify with being fully happy, fully sad, fully anything. I just am who I am. I just am Lily, and I feel and experience those emotions. How did you meet your boyfriend, and were you plus sized when you did? So, Curtis and I met on Bumble. We've done a podcast episode on my podcast, Bold Bodied. I will put the link to the exact episode in the description where we just talked about our relationship. I think that we told the story of how we met. We actually first matched on Tinder like a year ago now. I think it was last March and it's February now. And we talked a little bit back and forth. He says I ghosted him because we stopped talking. And then we matched again on Bumble like 2 months later. And that's when we really started talking. So yes, it was only less than a year ago that we met. Yes, I was plus size. Have I gained weight since I met him? Absolutely. Has he gained weight since he met me? Absolutely. It's like new relationship weight gain, right? Like you just eat and you go out to eat and you order in and you're cozy, and instead of getting up to go to the gym, you're hanging out and snuggling on the couch. But yeah, I was plus size when we met, and I think that that's something I want to do an in-depth podcast episode on the belief that it's harder to find love when you are bigger, and that people are going to love you despite your size rather than loving all of you, including your size. And I would love to bring Curtis on to kind of talk about some perspectives there, because really it's just this thought of I have physical preferences in a partner, right? Things that I'm more attracted to than others. And it's 100% different than, my best friend and the types of men that she's attracted to. And the same thing goes for, people who are looking at us and our body types, and everyone has different, physical preferences and things that they love. We have this misconstrued belief that because we are bigger or because we are plus size, that people are only going to like us once they get to know our personality, when in reality, my looks were what caught Curtis's attention first, even as a bigger woman. So just know that your person is out there. Okay, and then our last question. Is there a reason you eat a lot of cauliflower and fake pasta? Love this question. I think it's such a great one. Now, this kind of goes back to the beginning when I was talking about different things that people have said to me about my eating habits, right? And I went off on this little tangent. And the thing is, when we move from diet culture, right, where we've been eating all this cauliflower, all this fake pasta, all these vegetables, not having a friggin' slice of pizza or a bite of baked ziti for 3 years because we were so focused on losing weight, when we release that, the pendulum swings to the other side, right? It's gravity. You drop it, it's gonna swing to the other side. And when it goes to the other side, we're I am going to treat myself. I am going to eat 7 slices of pizza for dinner, and I am going to love myself anyway, right? And that's all well and great too. Now it goes back to what I was saying about that not really feeling the best, right? And for me, I know what makes me feel good, and when I'm intentional and I listen to my intuition versus trying to force things, which I've gotten caught up in, right? A lot of times, because I have this platform that I do, especially on TikTok, with speaking to plus size women and wanting them to feel comfortable about what they eat, sometimes I literally, it sounds so backwards, but I feel insecure when I post a video of a day where I ate that it looks too healthy, right? Where I ate, you know, too much cauliflower and I had a salad for lunch and a smoothie for breakfast. Like, oh no, it looks like I'm trying to lose weight. When in reality, I'm just doing what makes my body feel good. I love cauliflower rice, right? Point blank, that's just the answer. I also really enjoy things like cauliflower because yeah, veggies make me feel good. They're important, right? We still need to eat well, even if we love our bodies just as they are. I also am someone who is like a bulk eater. I like to eat like big volumes of food at once, and I can't eat a giant bowl of actual rice, not because I don't allow myself to, but because it doesn't feel good. Like I feel too sluggish and too slow, but I can eat like the most giant bowl of cauliflower rice with all sorts of like toppings and things, and I can feel really great afterwards. So I've recognized that about my body. When it comes to pasta, I don't eat fake pasta for pasta purposes, right? So I'm not like, I don't even eat like chickpea pasta or gluten-free pasta if I'm having like Italian pasta with like red sauce and meatballs kind of thing, you know? I eat regular pasta noodles. I'm assuming that you're referring to like Miracle noodles and the Wonder noodles that I eat in my stir fries. Now, the reason that I eat those is because I like them. Like that's literally it. I actually never ate those. I didn't even know that they existed when I was like in diet culture, trying to lose weight. They weren't like a staple food for me. I hadn't tried them until literally, you know, probably the first time I shared it with you guys on TikTok or on YouTube. What I like about them is the texture. I think that it's a really easy noodle to make at home, to keep in the fridge, to just have. I love the texture of it in stir fries. I feel like it tastes like something that I would actually get from like a restaurant if I were to go out and get like a ramen or a stir fry. It's just got the right texture to me. It's really yummy. And like, that's just it, you know? So I think that when you are thinking of these sorts of questions, something to step back and ask yourself is, you know, I don't feel like this was asked with any malicious intent or anything, truly just curiosity. But you can ask yourself, okay, like, why would I wonder why someone's eating vegetables, you know? And just let it be what it is and allow yourself to like remove the judgment from yourself when you feel like you want to have some more vegetables or you want to try the Miracle noodles in the stir fry just because you feel like it might be good or whatever else it may be, right? Maybe you want to buy a juicer and you want to make some really expensive juices and you don't, you know, then you like second guess yourself because I'm not in diet culture anymore. Like that's not the rules that I follow. Like I don't want to get caught in trying to lose weight again. And it's like, take a deep breath. Right? It's about finding that stability in the middle, that feeling of peace that feels good to you, and just trusting yourself and listening to yourself and allowing what you desire and what you choose to eat to shift and change as the moment by moment with what feels right for you. All right, you guys, well, that is all of the questions that I'm going to answer today. I really liked doing this video. Like the sit down vibe is different than my typical vlogs and things like that. And I got to eat pizza and talk about myself, so it's like all of my favorite things wrapped up into one. If you guys have more questions for future videos like this, absolutely leave them in the comments of this video. I can't wait to do more. Make sure that you are following me on Instagram, TikTok at lilynicole.co, and that you've subscribed to the Bold Body podcast so you are not missing out on any of my content in all of the places. I love you so much, and I will talk to you soon.